Can we all rise for the pledge, please?
I might just clear my throat.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Can you have a roll call?
Yes, Wonderjump.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Steffes.
Here.
Gardine.
Here.
Palmer. Here. Dahan. Highboy.
Here.
Quorum.
All right. Please note, as a courtesy, members of the audience and the Board of Education, please silence your cell phone. And as a note, public will only be able to speak during public comment if signed up. So you can tell it's already getting close to the end of the school year. It took us a little longer to get things started here and even call to order, right? You can imagine what the teachers are going through right now. So, can we get an approval of the agenda?
So
Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Reports agenda. Let's start with Miss Amy.
All right, I only have one quick thing to say. Yeah? All right. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking about the pickleball courts, so I'm going to present for Parks and Rec. Everybody's been asking, okay, when are they going to open? When are they going to open? They're like, oh, I got a pickleball in my hand, right? So they're just waiting for the nights to consistently be 50 degrees or above so that they can paint, and then they'll be on their way. Awesome.
Good.
Done.
Great.
Nice.
Thank you.
Could have slapped your hand down. That was that good.
Done.
Mr. Joe.
I'm going to pass tonight.
All right. Mr. Kim.
Thank you.
Just looking forward to graduating another great group of seniors, and it was a lovely ceremony this morning. It was fun to see all the joyful faces.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Bob.
Nothing to report.
All right. Miss Barb.
Yeah, just wanted to look back and say another great year so far. I know we've got a few more weeks left, but certainly the peak is this Thursday, and just been very pleased. So
Yeah.
nice school year.
Great. Yeah, I'm going to keep it quick too. It's great. All the year-end events are happening. It's fun. It's just an exciting time of year. I think we talked about this morning, and this is such a great time of year, and just to see everything kind of wrap up for the year. And I'm fully supporting going to break with the last, meeting of the year and being very casual tonight. So I'm in support of all the students. That's all I have. Mr. Barrett.
Okay, sure. So first thing, we have 2020 bond authorization issuance series 3. We were going to be bringing that to you last time, and something called a tornado watch prevented us from meeting. So, that has kind of moved on, and Heather's going to touch base with that for you, so you have some information.
Yeah, so due to the tornado watch and canceling of the meeting, we already had a closing set for May 9th for those bonds. And so essentially what happened is I called our attorney to discuss what our options were, and because of the authorizing resolution that you passed in December, then we were able to make an adjustment to the document and use signatures from that. So I did want to give you a brief update, though. We sold the bonds on April 16th. We received just over one-time orders for everything and settled on an overall interest rate of 3.59%. The amount issued was just over 11 million. So we are, from that side of things, we are done in terms of selling bonds for a while.
You're happy with that, right? That's
Yeah, I mean, we can't issue more than what was approved in 2019, so, yeah. Great.
One quick question, Heather.
Sure.
You said
3.59.
And what was the last
Yep,
series?
the Series 2 was an interest rate of 3.04, and Series 1 was 2.49%. So
Okay.
Series 1, we had 5 times the number of orders, and Series 2, we only had 3 times, so you can kind of see what the market has done
Yep.
over that
Nope.
time period.
We have that, and we also are the fact that we're not part of the state bond fund, so we get attractive rates based on that. So, nice job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Heather. You will notice Central Elementary is not here, and that is, I don't know how they got on our sign-up sheet, but.
Gilmy's
they-
always trying to get
Yeah, they were here in January or February, so I think I made Mr. Gilmy panic a little bit. I called him today, say, hey, you're all set, and then he called Mr. Philo back and was in panic mode, but it's kind of funny. But anyway, so we don't have a report from Central because we already had one. I'm very excited. Williams and Company, Allie is here from Williams and Company. And we have two great grant awards that we're about to receive. And so Allie, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm from Williams and Company, which is 44th and Wilson, so in your neighborhood. But we were celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, and so we sent out every representative in our company got to send out letters to the superintendents to see that it has to be a grant, not a donation. So to each their own on that. But we sent that out, and so we were giving away $25,000 grants for our 25 years. And honestly, Grandville is the only one that got 2 because your programs were so awesome. So we did a vetting process, and you are in our neighborhood, so we love you too. But we are giving away $1,000 to Being 11, and then $1,000 to An Amazing Shake, which honestly I learned more about the programs, and they're awesome. So we could not be more excited to give you guys $2,000. So.
Thank you.
Will you give them to her?
Yeah.
She runs all the money.
Got it under control.
Thanks, Allie. We
that's
appreciate
so
you and
awesome.
appreciate Williams and Company, so thank you so much. And that's all I have.
All right, great. All right, moving on. Any old business?
No old business.
All right, it's an action. Regular action items. Moving on to 5A, transportation bid.
number 4.
I'm sorry. It's an action agenda. I'm sorry. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed? All right. Pass.
And
Go ahead.
would, you have one
Yeah.
you know this guy, you know Fred, so congratulations. Very excited to have you in that role. And Alan is here. He is the new Cummings principal. So stand up, Alan. Did you bring a speech? No speech. Oh, they didn't tell you. Okay. Well, anyway, we're very excited about both of those guys. They're going to bring a lot to our district. Fred already has, and Alan, we're just so impressed by him. So he's really going to do great things, and obviously we're going to miss Mr. Martini. He's been fabulous, but we know Alan will put his own stamp on it over time. So very excited about that.
Congratulations and welcome to both of you guys. All right. All right, so moving on. Regular action items. The transportation bid. Excuse me. It is recommended the Board of Education authorize Owen Ames Kimball, OAK, to issue a letter of intent in the amount indicated to the contractor listed, pending confirmation that all requirements of the contract documents have been met. Upon receipt by OAK of all appropriate documentation, it is further recommended that the Board of Education award a contract to the contractors as specified below, which you can all read. The qualified bid package from the contractor specified above, including alternates, totals $5,975,200, and a 10% contingency of $597,520 is included, bringing the project total to $6,572,720. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
And Heather will give you an overview.
Heather, could you do me a favor? Could you do these, just the building diagrams first? Give us an
Yeah.
overview of that?
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's my favorite part.
Yes.
Oops, wrong one, sorry. So we've been working on this for a little while now. We like to joke that the only thing missing from this bid is Arlen's statue out front. So let's make it a little bit smaller here. So This is our current site. Over here where you see the new second loop drive to Canal, this is the storage shed area that land that we had purchased a while ago. Looking to make it a one-way in. Currently, the buses go in and out on this side. Presents a little bit of a safety issue there, especially when they're turning left. It's hard to, there's a sidewalk and a couple big trees and, 4 lanes of traffic on that road. So gonna have a loop that comes in. The canopy remains the same, and the transportation building is going to be rebuilt except for the footings, basically. And then there will be a new bus garage here, and that will also include a student garage and a classroom. And the current bus garage is going to be converted to a central distribution. So we'll have some more storage and be able to receiving area there too. And then this right here is the new maintenance pole barn and a new salt storage barn as well. So come down here.
What does it mean, central distribution, and where is that currently housed?
So like right now, the majority of our packages are delivered there,
Oh, okay.
because it's just when we're able to accept deliveries and such, and then it gets distributed from there.
And they'll also, if there are things that need to be put together, they can put them together on site, because that's where all the stuff is. They need extra parts or whatever, but everything's right there, as opposed to taking the box, trying to put it together there, and we all put these together, sometimes go to it, so.
Gotcha.
So this is, a firsthand look at some of those renderings that we put together. We'll actually have, I know I said a student bay, but there's actually 3 bays with it in there. And then on the transportation side, there's a pull through. There's also 3 bays in length.
Is that Walt's Tesla?
No, his is red.
I wasn't sure.
So then you can see now the back side, it was highlighted with the bus. That's one of the pass-through ones, and then there's another bay on the other side of the bus. And then this is looking at that central distribution site. That building is pretty much intact, just fixing some of the roof and that. So, because we've had some leaks in there, the way it's currently connected, it like slopes in, and so you get a lot of runoff.
For the student, the Weller Tech
Mm-hmm.
area, are we intended to bus kids over there? Are they going to be driving over there?
We will probably have some of both. What that will be is we'll have classes for certifications and so on over there. We may take a shuttle if we have a larger group or what have you, but we also will have before and after, we have community ed classes that are happening over there. Might, after school, on weekends and so on. That place will be quite busy with a lot of learning activities in automotive and mechatronics. So very excited about that. Some people might wonder why Weller Tech, the Weller Foundation, and Skip Weller one day had a conversation, invited me to lunch and wanted to do something, and we started talking about a concept, and then we spent a lot of time with GMB and OAK, and Heather and I have been to the Weller Foundation many times to have discussions there as well. Ron Denning has played an integral role in that. Scott Weller has also played an integral role. We took visits to the Ottawa ISD, some of the Weller buildings that are around and the things they do. Of course, our ISD, and Ron and his design too. So we've spent we've put a lot of time and effort into what this should be, what it should look like, the types of programming we'll have in there. And I think it really will run the gamut of very high-end certification learning to how to change your oil and, change a tire that every mom and dad wants their kid to have if they're going to college or wherever. So we'll be able to do a variety of things, and we're very appreciative to the Weller Foundation and Skip and Scott in particular. They've put a great deal of time into that as well.
Raj, kind of help me understand this a little bit. Didn't we initiate purchase of equipment to kind of do general maintenance at the high school as well? Didn't we do that?
Yes. And
So
we
how
will-
is this tying to that?
Yeah, and that's why Ron has played an integral role, because there are things we'll do and continue to do at the high school, but this will provide more experiences for more kids, and the equipment that will be in here will allow them to get certifications and have higher end things that they're learning, things that they might go to KCTC for, but they don't because of the travel.
And I'm heading in that direction. So, will they be working on buses?
They will work on
Unsupervised?
diesel. They will work some diesel stuff, yes.
Unsupervised?
No.
So,
No.
anything that they do or
Never.
touch
They'll
will have
certified
a
people.
certified mechanic
Yep.
on it.
Yes.
Just want to make
They will.
sure I say it for everybody. And then, is there any timeline to bring a regional KCTC?
This could be.
Classroom?
Yeah, this could be part of the ISD partnerships. When I presented Career Prep 2030, part of that is the ISD branching out and supporting satellite areas for things. This would certainly fall under that. So, the first year this is built, we anticipate having, specifically Grandville students, but could build into something much larger.
Does it have capacity to do more
Yeah,
students?
it definitely has
Okay,
capacity.
I didn't know if you needed to add another,
No.
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 It could do a regional
It
kind
could,
of thing.
it
yeah.
could. And Skip brought that up a few times with us too. He's like, well, will other kids
Yeah.
and other districts get? And we said, we fully think we could do something like that. But, the support from the ISD, would help do that as well, bridge that.
Keep the costs, like kids wouldn't have to maybe pay for that outside of our district.
Right,
'cause
right.
the ISD is helping
Yeah,
to.
right, so
something
there
like that.
hopefully be support, and again, we have kids around here, they have the same challenge our kids have, the time of
Yeah.
traveling.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll have some time to work through that and what that might look like, but I think the sky's really the limit in that.
And we're looking at 2025, 2026 school year.
Yeah,
Yes.
fall of
For-
20,
We would start.
fall
yeah.
of 25 should be completed.
I think this is the perfect time to make another plug for going to that Career Prep 2030. Those events are remarkably informative, and this fits perfectly into everything that they're talking about with that program.
Raj, Can ISD being involved, is there some revenue that comes back to us by being part of
Yeah,
that?
right now, they're not involved.
Right,
Let's
but-
be clear, but if
It's
they
a-
are, yeah, that is
Okay.
their intent, is to support local satellite, branch out from just that main hub
Gotcha.
and be able to provide some assistance in helping people, strengthen those developments.
So Raj, so we're paying for the building, Weller's paying for what?
Weller is paying us a significant amount of money to put that Weller Tech onto our bus garage.
The sign,
That area.
you know.
So this.
So are they
this-
equipping?
This is really us they're
And I understand
a
that.
large donor for that.
Are they, is there any long-term commitment from them to help
Defray the cost of maintenance and the upkeep of the
the
equipment.
philanthropic
Well-
side of the instruction?
We have talked about other people who Skip believes will help us with the interior, with the equipment, with
Okay.
the cycle of that. Yes.
Nice.
He knows all those people.
And
so
I
it's
know,
very-
he's in our backyard.
Yes,
and
he
that's
is.
that's
Very
cool.
helpful. The thing that we, from our experiences, Robotics Center is an example, it's hard to get those people to commit until they see what they're committing to.
I understand.
So when they see, they can see renderings like this and see things you're doing, then you can branch out and start saying, hey, here's what we're doing, and they'll have a visual as well.
Have you been in connection with AIS as well?
We have been in connection with AIS on other things.
Because I would
yes.
think
This,
they could tie into this
Who's AIS?
potentially.
Yeah.
this is
They're the
a
largest,
company who-
they're the large
people around.
equipment
They're- yeah,
company
right now.
in probably 5 states.
should-
There's several,
Large equipment, okay.
there's several car dealerships that obviously have a lot of this stuff that we're gonna tie into as well.
Good. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's exciting.
it is. It all started with a conversation.
I know, because you've got skilled trades.
Yes.
And, college isn't for everybody.
Right.
And why not
And
put somebody on a bus for 45 minutes?
Right,
when we don't
and-
have to.
there are a lot of things kids will be able to learn in this that they will be able to go to college if that's what they choose. They'll get certifications if they don't, but they also will get underlying base for a lot of the stuff that's at university. So there'll be both worlds.
Nice.
Be great.
I've got a couple questions on some of the bids. Not much, because things weren't really crazy when it comes to the swing of what they did. So on DDC controls, that one had a pretty good swing. Both out of Michigan and Grand Rapids, actually. But that one did. And there were only 2 contractors there, which is interesting.
Trade was the only one that was specified initially, because they service most of the district, but Control Logic also services the district, requested to be allowed to bid the project, and the project team agreed to that. They came in with a great number.
Yeah,
See that?
it is. It is.
It's the least expensive.
Under electrical, I mean, you're looking at, if you go to the middle, you're looking at almost $100,000 swing there. Anything you're concerned about?
Not from a performance side of things, they just got really aggressive because I think that they fit their schedule well. We're starting to see a lot more bids from contractors, which I think some of the private stuff slowly drying up a little, because that's great, of course. So we're seeing more bids from our competitors there. Also for this being the fall, early fall start, it really fits in well with the schedules.
Okay.
What's the deal with the concrete bids? That was a little off, maybe I missed something on it, but the old 52 grand, and some of them go up to 800,000. That's number 3. Wait,
Same kind of thing, we got a lot of feedback.
it's bid number 3, the concrete.
Yeah.
One of them's at 52 grand, some of them are up to 800. Why is there such a large difference in?
583,000 or 52,000?
I'm sorry.
It was 552.
I'm sorry, my bad. It's my eyes.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry, I thought that was a dollar sign.
It
I'm
does
like,
have-
why is
I
it
can
52
Yeah.
grand?
No. I was gonna say
My
the same
bad.
thing. It was nice to see so many bids, because we've been usually getting like 2, 3, maybe 4, and 2 of them are kind of what I would call throwaway bids, right? They, they had to do it, and so they threw it out there, and they didn't want it, right? We see a couple of those in here, but not many, which is pretty good to see.
It's getting a lot more competitive.
Why did we bid there?
That's good. Sorry, but
Bob, did you have some more or not?
No.
Okay, all right.
I can't believe
Heather's got a smile on her face, 'cause I don't have any more, Heather.
I seen that.
It's from Johnson, yeah.
Not on this
Seriously.
one.
It's local, it's local.
Not on
It's a
this one.
positive
I love
thing
it.
today, that's,
It worked out.
Good, any other discussion?
No.
All right,
Thank
can
you.
we do a roll call vote?
Sure. Klein,
Yes.
Stephens,
Yes.
Jardine. Yes. Palmer, yes. Wonderchen.
Yes.
Highmore.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you for all your hard work, appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, next item, KISB Board Member Election. It is recommended the board select 3 members to represent the KISB Board of Directors. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
And as you can see, this might be hard. There's 3 spots and 3 people. One is an incumbent from Godwin Heights, and you can see the other 2 people. We had asked for background on the other 2 people, and we didn't get anything. The ISD didn't get anything. So I don't know a lot about those other
We
2
would have if
people.
there would have been
Yeah,
Competition.
multiple candidates.
Multiple candidates,
But we,
yeah.
it's,
right, I agree.
Still be
So,
nice.
so
We could
yes,
ignore
3
it.
3 candidates, and we get one vote for the 3 candidates. So I wonder who we're gonna vote. All 3 of them, right?
don't I usually go to the ISD for this?
Yeah, I don't know. No, you go for the ISD election. This is the KIASB.
Oh, this is KISB.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do
Yeah,
theirs a little
it's
different.
hard to get members for KIASB.
So anyway, as you can see, we're recommending the 3 people mentioned be approved.
So then we just vote and say.
Vote on it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion about the 3 candidates? All right. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to 5C, the City of Wyoming School Tax Collection Agreement. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the attached school tax collection agreement from the City of Wyoming. Can I get a motion?
To move.
Support.
So this is something that I really struggled to find, the original agreement, since it's from 1987. But the City of Wyoming reached out, and they need to make an adjustment to the annual agreement. And the main purpose of that is to streamline their processes and the language revisions to align with the state mandated schedule, which is twice per month, avoids having so that they don't have to monitor 2 separate accounts. So basically, they're eliminating a bank account, and then they'll have the same process that they have for paying the taxes to us once they've collected them. So it really just requires your approval and then a signature from Jason and Roger.
Have they actually been paying us to this schedule?
Yeah,
Or-
and in fact, it's nice because they'll pay us electronically now. We don't have to wait for a check.
All right, and do all other municipalities do it the way they do it? Or are wanting to do it? Is this an exception?
They're the only ones that I have heard from that have requested this change to their agreement. They're the only ones, but they've requested it of every school district within their
Their
limits.
boundaries?
Yep,
I get it.
yep,
Okay. But they're the only ones doing this right now,
correct.
Wyoming. Wish I knew somebody that would.
Me too.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, opposed? Motion passes. All right, next item, the KISD 2024-2025 proposed budget resolution. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the attached resolution expressing support for Kent Intermediate School District's 2024-2025 general fund budget. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, and this is an annual thing, their general fund. Heather's going to give an brief overview of.
Yep, so I'll share a presentation that Kevin Phillips shared from the ISD. And just, as a reminder, we can talk about the other funds, but the approval is really only for their general fund. So, let me go here. Oop. Okay, so their 24-25 budget assumptions, and you'll see some of this actually at the June 3 meeting from us. Our funding is different than the ISD's, but when you look at the property tax collection piece, we're looking at the same type of increase, the 6.5%. They get some funding from the state, and that's looking like it's going to go up 2.5%. Special ed, they get 100% on their funding there, and you can see some of the other programs like the GSRP. Looks like that funding will go up a little bit. 31N is it's an ISD allocation, but it does benefit us. We have a couple of staff who were able to charge to that grant. So, and then they're looking at benefits or salaries and wages of 3%, 3.5% plus a step, and then health benefits of 2% increase. MIPSers is, there's a lot of discussion right now with that between the actual pension rate and then the other post-employment benefit rate, because there's two separate pots, and the post-employment benefits are your medical pieces. That is a closed fund. Anybody new in schools in Michigan cannot access that fund, and that fund recently is fully funded. So there's some question as to what, from a budget perspective, the state will do with that. I don't know what the swing is for Kent ISD, but for Grandville, it could be $2 million. So I do know that there was a coalition of a lot of agencies within the state of Michigan that pulled together to write a letter to basically say, use it how you're supposed to use it, which means give it back once you're fully funded and don't transfer it over to the pension side of things. So we wait and see on that. And then he talks a little bit about that OPEB issue that I just referred to. Wow, that is small. So their general fund, they're looking at 75
Heather,
million.
why the swing? Okay, I understand 23, 24 might have been COVID money they're dumping in there, but, okay, go back to 22, 23, you're at 56 million, and now, then we went to 94, that's a big swing, and then we're down, then we're still up to 75. So, that's where my questions are in is.
Well, those state sources right there, and you're absolutely right, that is COVID money.
Yeah.
So.
Is it residual COVID money, John? Is what
It
you're
was,
asking, right? You're
what I
asking
think it
from-
was, my own perspective, I think it was they took everything that was outstanding in COVID and they shoved it into education for the governor. And now we have to live with less, is what I'm saying, because it's eventually,
Well, it's
I
not
mean-
living with less, it's still a lot more than 2 years ago.
well,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what that's
it's
what-
almost $20 million difference.
Right, but it was to
But-
fund things that were an increased cost
Right.
during that time period. So,
But we also added programming.
right.
Heather, what part of this is the itinerant staff? What percentage is that? It's got to be very low.
The itinerant staff is going to be a pass-through under their special ed programming, I believe.
Okay.
So, because their itinerant, they follow our contracts, the itinerants, they follow the local district contracts. The only difference is that they're run and paid by the ISD. So,
And every district is pulling back on that, right?
yes.
That's a universal
That is,
agreement?
yes, for all of Kent County, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So this will be the last year that you will have that with them.
And those funds just come to us now because now they're our employees again.
Correct. Yep.
Can you explain again, there were some changes in the accounting of cost, right? That was like the business services and the things you see up there that have, huge swings, right? From, 2022 to now. They changed how they were accounting for things, weren't they? Or, because how do you go from business services 1.9 to 705, right? So they changed a bunch of how they were coding things, right? Or
Yeah, I'm guessing that is what they have done.
okay.
Yeah, but if you look at the summaries of revenue and expenditures, it's still quite contrast.
Well, right, and the thing that I'm still trying, the instructional staff rate is still extremely high, right? It's still double what it was, right? But the community services drops $1 million, right? And there's some, I'm trying to, and like I said, I knew part of it, what was so screwy is, yes, you had that COVID money come in, right? And they doing a lot of things for the community and so forth. But then they had a switch of how they were costing some things, right? That's where I get lost is, where is it all going? How is it all going? What are we comparing to? You just can't really compare apples to apples anymore because they changed how they were costing things and it was hard, except for the baseline number, which you're talking about, right? Which is that
Correct.
overall.
And I'm going after a baseline and see where the swing is and try and get back to a baseline, Jace. That, to me, that's all I'm trying to understand.
Right.
Is that. And this is confusing as hell.
And I think it'd be great if they came and presented.
I would love that.
Because I don't,
Ron Kaler used to.
Yeah.
They used to.
Yeah, I'm not in their I see what you see and my presentation from Kevin will probably be tomorrow actually, because that's when we have our meeting. So the timing of it is always
Wonky.
up in the air as well too, so.
Good.
They had quite a large surge of early childhood money and
They
a couple
did.
of grants
They
last
did
year
get-
as well.
Yes.
And then they had to it was a one-time massive amount that they dumped into GSRP.
Because I also see what Kim is saying too, if you just take out 23 to 24, we're looking at, and you compare those two without the anomaly of the middle.
Well, and you see a lot of changes in services, like
Right.
Jason said, but look under basic programs. There was an incredible surge there.
Mhm.
And it's getting normalized, which is around a lot of places. So places, you can see some of the shifts in there, but,
And that's where I was going, I'm sure the instructional staff and the business services, right? There had to have been something, they changed how they were coding things, right? And then it just gets messy because you also had this huge influx and, what goes with what, right? And so it's hard to.
Well, and you're also looking at, okay, based on all this, they're levying mills on property. So, for us trying to understand this too is we're trying to be as good of stewards as we can along the way, but this is incredibly confusing to me as to how that I'm trying to figure out how to normalize it, to tell you the truth.
well, there's quite a good analysis in here too. If you
Yeah,
go through all the
Yeah, I read
nitty-gritty,
that.
and one of the things that they do show is, to your point about the mills on property, we've had an incredible increase in property value, which provided a lot of extra revenue to spend towards services programs. You can see that. I'm glad to see the larger numbers when you pull in an extra 8% and then an extra 6%, extra 10% in the last few years. Our property value's been going crazy. You can see that
Here's something that I learned
going into the
as I
students.
contested my property value up north, is the local taxing authorities receive the formulas from the state. They do not have the ability to set them, the state sets them. So,
Did you win?
something, No. I didn't expect to win, but I'm still
You've
gonna
got some
fight.
tips.
I'm still gonna fight. You know me, what do I do? So trying to get more under this, why did values go up so high when inflation is as high as it is and the market is stagnant?
The housing is not. I mean, the houses are.
Housing is still stagnant.
Doubled.
The property values are,
Incredibly.
Property values are through the roof, but, you know, try and sell your house. You know, they're not going, I mean, in a hot spot, maybe Grandville, but in other areas, they're sitting. Nobody wants to pay 9% interest. So, there's more to this. There's more to it. I'm done talking, Heather.
so would you guys support me asking them if next year they come and do
Yes.
this report?
That'd be awesome.
And then
Yes.
compare this year to next year?
Yes.
They can do a comparison, because they should be able to explain that a lot better than handing it to us and
not a
us,
rating.
yeah, to be approved.
Here's my assumption. My assumption was they wouldn't give it to you without giving you the in-depth summary. I understand. You already gave us the timeline. So, yeah, let's put the onus on them to review it.
Because then if you have questions about the different accounts, the different swings of things,
Yeah.
they should be able to tell us what their thought process was on
Yeah.
that.
And,
Should
you
be
know,
helpful.
with the economy, and things are gonna get tougher. They're just going to get tougher. And they need to answer to it. Give you a break.
Any other discussion? All right, let's go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, on to 5E, the summer Chromebook refresh. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase of 1,000 Dell Chromebooks and management licenses. The purchase also includes a $7,000 allowance for device cases. Total purchase price is $238,300. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
And Walt is here to give us some background.
So Walt, what have we already? Hey, I'm trying to move. We got a big schedule. What have we purchased for equipment this year outside of network infrastructure, right? We bought staff.
So yes,
Chromebooks.
non-instructional staff laptops.
Laptops.
Those were purchased and will be prepared over the summer, be distributed this fall.
And we bought iPads.
We haven't bought iPads.
Not this year.
We haven't.
About the
No.
monitors. Right, the monitors?
We did do, yes, digital.
Oh, that was
yeah,
it.
digital
That's what I'm
displays.
thinking.
Big old monitors. Yes, we did.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is what has become an annual purchase. We've developed a rolling replacement cycle. As Chromebooks get 4 years old, we end up replacing them. This year is roughly 1,000 devices for 3rd grade and 5th grade students. 3rd grade students have their device in a cart in the classroom and don't take it home with them. 5th grade students, and this will be something new that's starting next year at Oakstown, they will get a case for their device, and just like 5th and 6th grade students will take their device home. So that's the case allowance for the devices in there. We're purchasing the Dell 3110 model Chromebook. Over time, with our one-to-one program first being implemented back in 2014, we've had a variety of different models of Chromebooks. Overall, the Dell device has been the best for us as far as repair and durability and that type of thing.
Nice. Under the funding, 2022, 2024 bond. Explain that one to me.
Over the series, so the 2022 bonds, those are coming to an end. So it's either gonna land, depending on when we get the bill, it's either gonna land in the 2022 pot or the 2024 pot of money that we just sold.
Got it. So, we don't have any more bond money to buy computers going forward?
No, we do. A good chunk of that Series 3 is for technology.
And how long do you think that's gonna last?
2027, hopefully.
Okay. All right.
So he tells me I have to buy more cybersecurity stuff.
After last week, you might have to.
You know,
right?
hey, the bullet went right there. It picked Rockford, thank the Lord. While we're on that subject, how close were we?
As far as,
Were we as susceptible as they were?
I can't necessarily speak to what.
What's your gut tell you?
What's that?
What's your gut tell you?
Don't do that.
Like I said, I can't speak to what infrastructure Rockford has in place. I believe I shared a kind of cybersecurity update with you guys. So we've got a number of projects that we've put in place. Obviously, when I saw the news break about that, I went here and did some additional security measures on our firewall to make sure that there were things in place to prevent that. And we've got a number of other projects. The EDR, MDR software that Heather was referring to is something that we're working on down the road as well.
Do you guys, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Is there any grants available through Homeland Security to help beat this up because we are a public organization?
Yes, there's actually 2 grants. There's SLCGP, I think is the acronym of one of them, and is it 97G is the other one. Are 2 state grants that will help school districts pay for cybersecurity software. So we're hoping that a portion of that EDR, MDR software will be reimbursed.
Nice, thank you.
Is there any type of like KISD, like postmortem on these type of events to kind of lessons learned? Everybody, let's get pizza and let's talk about this. How do we make
There
sure we don't
probably
do this,
will
or-
be. We don't have another Kent ISD Tech Director meeting before the end of the school year. I know that, for example, in organization meetings where that I've been to where we've discussed this topic, once like the FBI gets involved and there's a whole crime investigation and that type of thing, things are pretty quiet while they're doing that. I'm sure at some point we'll find out more information, but right now.
That's standard afterwards.
Okay.
Rockford is a part of the same insurance liability program that we're a part of.
Okay.
And I sit on that board, so I'm assuming I'll hear something at once the FBI has released.
Okay. All right.
Do you think it was an employee error, like someone said they got the pizza coupon or something?
Hopefully not. I mean, obviously, we do regular training with staff to prevent things like, clicking on phishing emails, that type of thing. So hopefully that's not what happened, but that is one way.
And take the course.
Yeah, okay. I know that. I just wondered. Yeah.
Good.
They're
All right.
good sometimes.
One more. Is all the software preloaded like the other stuff?
So yeah, Chromebook is kind of a cloud device. So while there's a base operating system on there,
Right.
the students use it to access like Google Drive, Google Docs, all that type of stuff. So there's not a whole lot of software that goes on it, but a lot of cloud apps get automatically downloaded to it via the management.
Any other
Just
discussion?
seeing how easy we can make it for you.
All right, can we get a roll call vote?
Klein,
Yes.
Gardine,
Yes.
Stefas,
Yes.
Wondergen,
Yes.
Palmer, yes. Hybler,
Yes.
yes.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, on to the next one. The summer 2024 iPad refresh. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase of 150 Apple iPads for a total purchase price of $49,100. The purchase price includes a $5,000 allowance for iPad cases. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
We mentioned iPads a little bit ago. This is the refresh of all of the 5th generation iPads that are in the district. So as I did an inventory of iPads that are out there, we have roughly a little under 150 5th generation iPads that are in use by both staff and students throughout the district. So this purchase would replace those devices with a new device. We do have approximately, it's a little under 2,000 iPads that are deployed out there. So the vast majority of the iPad fleet in the district is 6th generation devices. So perhaps a year from now, we'll start looking at a larger purchase for those replacements. Obviously, this replacement is kind of motivated by, we try and read the tea leaves a little bit as far as when Apple is going to drop support of an iPad. Right now, the 5th generation is right on the edge of no longer being supported as far as iOS updates and security updates and that kind of thing. So that's why we're looking at a replacement for these.
Okay. Price is very reasonable.
Apple stuff is always Apple stuff, but.
I understand, but I still think it's a reasonable price.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed?
Thanks, Walt.
All right, on to the next item. The non-renewal of contract between GPS and employee number 4596. It is recommended the Board of Education terminate its employment contract with Emily McAlpine due to the elimination of the instructional support and alignment coordinator position.
So moved.
Support.
So this, as mentioned, this particular position is done. Emily did a great job completing the work that we had there, and she's moving on.
We don't have a need for that position anymore? What
No.
did they do?
It was
What is she doing?
alignment, it was professional learning communities and some curriculum alignment things with elementaries.
Got it.
So she helped us, she has a lot of expertise in that background and helped us out and did a great job.
Great. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. 5H, Oakstown STEAM course. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following proposal of a new STEAM-focused science elective course at Oakstown Intermediate School. No text is required for this course. As a hands-on based learning experience, there are startup and replacement material costs. Startup cost for the course will not exceed a total of $75,000. Annual consumable costs will be approximately $3,000 based on replacement part needs. See Appendix A for specific cost breakdown. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
And we are very excited to have some of our Oakstown intermediate people here, and they're very excited to share this with you, the STEAM program, as well as Dr. Merkel.
I'm just quickly, I got a look like I'm supposed to introduce. Really, the work that they've done preparing Oakstown, we've heard it all year long. And this is one of our last pieces of the puzzle. I think there's still a lot of work to be done over the summer. But in the opening of the 5-6 building, we took a look at the elective courses, we call them specials at the elementary, and used this opportunity to re-envision a lot of that. And we saw that when Brian and Stacy presented the schedule, increased music time, art is still layered in there, but STEAM was something that we've had our eye on at this level for a long time. And in the last 12 months, we've had K-12 conversation around the alignment of computer science. We've approved in the last 12 months Computer Science A, AP Computer Science A at the high school level. This is kind of the kickstart of that work. If you think back a number of years, we approved some STEM courses at the middle school that are still going on and evolving. And this, again, it becomes a precursor for that. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
No, we are excited to present this option to you and see what we can do moving forward. So I have Lindsay Crawford, who one of our teachers here, and Stacy Miles to talk about the class.
All right. So basically, we decided we wanted to get this STEAM class started. We want to know how to do it. So we met with Dubois, who's an expert at the ISD. We started to meet with other area programs, talk to them, what they were doing. One of the things we noticed when we looked at some of the national standards, we looked at the idea of convergence, which is the idea of, it's kind of not, I've been around long enough, it's not a new idea. It's when you're embedding all of your curricular areas into a project instead of just
Interdisciplinary.
yes, interdisciplinary.
Yeah.
It's all right if we don't, I can wait.
Is it not in here?
Let's look.
It's all good, we can wing it. So anyway, what we talked
There's a
about
convergence
was
word.
how we really wanted to make sure, convergence is that's actually from the federal government, but they talk about the need for our future generations to understand problem solving and integration through lots of different things instead of teaching everything in isolation. So our students, we can tell you right now, they have difficulty applying some things in real life. So we decided to take the idea of our curriculum and really look at teaching our kids some basic introductory skills towards those pieces of STEM. So robotics, engineering, design, those types of things, and then integrate them into projects instead of doing a unit on engineering, a unit on design. So doing a project that ties to the kids' core curriculum. So Lindsay, do you want to talk about some of the ideas that we have?
Yeah, so some of the ideas we have is that we could do a mini golf course, which would be kind of like a capstone project where a group of students would design a mini golf hole using like geometry skills and a lot of the design thinking that we do throughout the semester of STEAM. We also have urban planning, park planning, like a national park to talk about landforms and kind of tie in some of the social studies topics that are learned specifically in 6th grade. Also connecting to real life situations, we could protect against erosion, connecting to Lake Michigan and the world around us in our community. And then there were a few more ideas just focusing on design thinking, the engineering design process, like designing a prosthetic leg where students can work through building a prototype and then fixing the prototype, but really the focus is on building those critical thinking, collaboration skills within these projects, and getting them to handle failure and adapt to failure as well.
So what's the art piece? Is that the designing is the
That's
art?
the design, like the
Okay.
aesthetic, the look
The
of,
look,
like,
uh-huh.
for example, the mini golf course, not just calculating all of the angles of
Making it look
making
like
it
a-
look good, yes.
Yeah, we're actually super excited about that one. So what the kids are gonna do is they're gonna make those and then we're gonna use those at the art and chocolate walk. So people will be able to play some of the holes that the kids have designed.
That's
I think that's a
nice.
great way to get families down there.
Yeah.
And then Tara Meeson, who will be our art teacher, has also been kind of working with us to get ideas, and we're super excited about it. I think we met vertically with the science team and heard some of their thoughts, and with the robotics, we've talked to the robotics people. They've been incredibly helpful and generous in saying we can try some of their things. I think one of the things we've realized is our kids need introduction to the basics, but what they really need is problem solving, taking risks, learning how to handle failure, how to communicate with a group. Those are the skills, like our high school physics teachers were like, don't worry about the content, we'll get them there. They're like, if they could just know how to measure and how to talk to each other and be willing to take a risk, if you can get them there, we can teach the content. And it was really nice to hear that in a way, because I think sometimes 5th, 6th get that idea, like if we don't get them ready for middle school, they won't be ready for middle school. We think it's about the content, but really it's about the foundational skills. So I'm super excited.
Cool.
I love the hands-on piece. I think that helps a lot of kids in learning.
Yes, I
how
think
to
there are
do
kids who shine
design.
there that might
Yeah.
not always shine in other areas, but that might be where they get to show off their skills.
What's nice also is because you're also working with the Amazing Shake and all of that stuff, I mean, automatically I was like, oh, you can work with the Parks and Recs department if you're gonna talk about golfing or where form meets beauty in Herman Miller. You can reach out and go, hey, Herman Miller, can we work with you? Or even with like Trinity and Corwell for your prosthetic. You know, there's so many cool opportunities, and it's so important to remember these are still our little 5th, 6th graders, and play is so important, and it just seems so, I'm a huge Montessori fan, so it's very play-based,
Yeah.
educationally,
Yeah.
convergent, interdisciplinary. Great job, again, really
Yeah,
cool.
we're super excited. Erin Tarkington at ISD is also working with us on connecting us to those real world resources
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Cornwall and those.
So cool.
Yeah, so we'll have our kids get to see what the real world, how it applies. Sometimes
Yeah.
kids are like, is this really something that's going to happen in the real world?
Mhm.
For them to see
Or
that
maybe
it's-
you'll make it happen in the real world. Yeah.
So, I have lots of questions.
You?
You know me. How are you planning to approach this? I'm gonna frame it.
Okay.
So, you probably can't do it individually. You probably got to do it in groups. And a group typically has a self-made leader And then you also have those that pass. And then interaction and trying to understand. I think the concept is great, but how do you get 90+% of the kids that take this to activate, right?
That's really the very first thing that Lindsay's gonna spend time on, is those lessons on listening and working together and the reason everybody needs to have a role. I think too, the way the lessons are built, the kids have, I think that happens when there's only one thing to be done. You know what I mean? Like, I've done that in projects in my classes, where if there's only one thing to be done, you've picked the wrong project if you have 4 people doing it. If you're creating a project for your students, a well-done project, everybody has to be busy, or it's not a good project to do as a group. So,
Or, I mean, the same thing happens in college. I mean, you run into this in higher education where some people, like, terrible time management, can't get it done.
Yep.
Those kind of things. So I think it's great. I just think you need to keep in the carrot that you need to keep in front of you is, how do I engage every student
Oh, yeah.
to try to learn how to problem solve? And for those that know my son, it took a while for him to learn how to problem solve. So I love it from that perspective, that you're attempting to grow that aspect, especially on these, as I get older and the generations get younger, so that they comprehend that hands-on activity. So.
Yeah, it has to be very intentionally taught and very intentionally, like, modeled.
Yep.
So this is an elective, so it's,
No, this is some all.
Oh, it says elective.
Yes, it
Okay.
should be framed as, this is some all 5th and 6th graders
Will
would get.
get.
Same as PE, same as art, same as music.
okay,
At our
Okay.
level, it's not necessarily an elective,
Special.
it's something
I was
that's.
Got
just
it.
It's
thinking,
not a
yeah,
core-
words are gonna
it's
be
not a core
all,
course.
okay.
That
When they
Got
get
it.
to middle school, then they have to start making those decisions, but
Okay.
we're still 5th, 6th grade, so those are
Yes.
specials, correct?
Yeah.
So
And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of this is based on what we do for our image classes, correct? So like, when we look at the way possibly Kyle teaches a course on living in the prairie, like, every one of those kids in that class is engaged at the time. So to me, it seems like you will be able to break that into that same kind of concept, if that makes it more familiar,
Yeah.
right? It,
Absolutely.
it's just like you said, it's new terminology for something that has worked swimmingly before.
Yes.
So, I'm excited.
We are super excited about it.
Yeah. Way to go.
That's it. You want another one, Stace? I'll give you another one.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And 5I, the backup appliance support. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the renewal of the support agreement for the district's Cohesity backup appliance for a total purchase price of $43,779.08. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Welcome back, Walt.
Thank you. So this is the maintenance renewal for the district's backup appliance. That backup appliance is housed here in the district and provides backup of all of the critical systems in the district on site. It also provides, we were talking about cybersecurity a little bit earlier, what's called an immutable backup, which, when something like a ransomware attack happens, they encrypt your files, and then we'll also often try and encrypt your backup so that when your files are encrypted and you go to try and restore them, my backup is already encrypted as well. So, they're trying to force you into having to pay their ransom. In this case, our backup appliance takes our data and backs it up to a cloud and then severs that connection when it's not actively backing up the data, creating what's called an immutable backup, which means that it's something like a ransomware could, encrypt all of the files here. We could still reach out to our backup, our cloud backup, and restore all of our data.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice. Very cool.
You lost me at immutable backup. But more importantly, it's a 3-year deal.
Correct.
Do we try and lock them in for longer than that, or is that as far as they would go?
That's as far out as they would go as far as
Okay.
pricing goes. Obviously, we do get a little bit of a discount doing a 3-year renewal as opposed to the 1 year.
All right. Any other discussion?
Feels more important now than ever.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. All right, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to roll call this one?
Do we need to?
No, no, you
Okay.
can't. No. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thanks, Walt.
Thank you.
Good job, you guys.
All right, on to public comment. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Discussion, I'm sorry. Discussion items, school safety annual report. Mr. Easterly.
Yes, so very excited to have Mark Easterly here, as you know, our new safety director this year. And Mark, take it away and just give us some information about what's been going on this past year.
Well, good evening. Kind of embarking on this first full year of this new position for not only me, but also for the district, and just trying to figure out what that has looked like and what it's going to look like in the future. So things are going well at this time. I definitely continue to learn about the district, how it operates during a normal year. So that's been kind of interesting for me to find out. The staff has been absolutely amazing in helping me learning about their facilities and their independent schedules that they have for all the facilities. We've recommended some office reconfigurations for better lines of sights. You can see that in the redo of the Cummings front area there with their office area, and we've made some recommendations at a couple of the other schools and things like that. It's looking at the overviewing the district emergency operations plan, not only for the overall for the district, but also for the individual facilities as well. I've been part of the district behavioral threat assessment team this year, which is new to me. We've made some traffic flow recommendations for student parent pickup and drop off at a couple of the elementaries. Still struggle with that. Obviously, these buildings were designed for walkable and not for drivable. So we're going to continue to struggle with that. And also we've added some signage. We've been out there kind of helping during the drop off and pickup to kind of get traffic moving and to kind of remind parents about how that should be working. And we're also looking for into the reunification plans, so that if something were to happen at one of our facilities, whether it to be something in an emergency, a gas leak, power outage, something like that where we need to relocate. So we're looking at those reunification plans. This is also in conjunction with the Kent ISD, who's really getting into that right now. And then we're looking to also partner with the Wyoming Public School District and also Kellogg'sville Public School District. If we have something like that here, we're going to be really busy, and we need somebody to help us out running those types of things. So kind of a nutshell with that for the role for this year. We brought in new ALICE safety training. ALICE is an options-based response strategy to survive violent critical incidents. It utilizes all the information that you have to keep yourself and your staff and students safe in an emergency, and it replaces our lockdown-only violent critical response, where basically you would just shutter yourself in your room and pray. So this gives you options. So we're doing that. So most of our staff has been trained in the new ALICE protocols and strategies in August of this year. Students have been introduced to this as well through staff with the concepts of handling these situations, and we'll be further working with our students to develop these as next year progresses. And then we're proposing, or we're progressing in training all of our staff. We have GEC and Treehouse to complete. We're doing that in early June. And then we anticipate all food service and then any other new district employee to be trained before the start of the school year. So we'll have everybody trained in the district then for that new program. So we did a safety and security audit district-wide. This was a grant-funded audit that was completed by Secure Environment Consultants. They're a local company that does this type of things, not only for schools, but for businesses and whatever. And it's a really comprehensive walkthrough of each district facility. They look at safety and security. They happen in layers, and there's not a one size that fits all. and secure environment consultants provide and recommend best practices for each layer of physical security, processes, procedures, safety training, and equipment. And they have given us a report on their recommendations, not only for things that we can do district-wide, but they have also, again, building-specific things that we can do to help add to our security and our safety. And talking with their people, we are quite a bit ahead of a lot of the other school districts in the area, so that was kind of nice to hear when we were coming through and seeing everything that was there. And it was a great eye-opener for me as well to walk through and be able to see all those facilities and walking through with the people who were in charge of those buildings. So we will be doing Oakstown sometime probably late fall, early winter is my anticipation. I want to get us some time in there, see how it goes, how our flow goes, and how things are there. We're going to have a construction punch list and things like that, obviously, as we get there. So we're going to need to get through some of that before I kind of want to bring them in and look that over, so we're a little bit more ready for that. So. And then looking ahead for next year, we're continuing to work on our district radio and communication pieces. We've done some changing around with our transmitters and things like that. We've gotten some new radios in. We've reprogrammed some things, got some new antennas, and so that is really, really working out. And especially the processes and procedures that when we do have an emergency, to be able to talk not only amongst ourselves, but actually back here to home base, to administration, to keep them advised of what's going on so they can put out that timely message to what's going on out there. That really helps out a lot. So we also had to do improvements to the public safety system at the middle school with all of the lead construction with the glass and the construction, things like that, that it was hard for public safety to be able to hear in that building. There's a lot of dead spots for their radios, so we had to do a little bit of infrastructure update for that to do that. So with any other new construction, we're going to have to really think about that as inputting, make sure that we get that into to our construction plans. Again, we'll look to strengthen our reunification processes, not only with us, but also looking with Kellogg'sville and the ISD. And we'll always continue to look to strengthen our safety and security plans for our after-school events. So we do really, really good from 7 to 3, and it's after that we really need to strengthen on how we look at safety and security for that time, because it's a great thing. Our buildings are open; they're community buildings, but it's one of those things that how do we strengthen that? So that's all I got.
I have a question.
Questions? Sure.
Can you give me a very simple example of reunification, please, from what you're talking about from a safety perspective?
So for reunification, it's going to be that if we need to move a building full of staff and students, we need to account for those staff and students. We need to get them to whatever our predetermined reunification site is, and then we've got to get that information out to parents and to guardians to be able to come and pick up those kids. And it's a 1-for-1. It's a receipt for a child. If you're coming in to pick up your student, I'm checking your ID, and we're making sure that all of those go together. And so it can be a little bit of a lengthy process to have that happen.
Did we have did we have something like that recently, where we had to shuttle a number of people for a gas leak or something?
We had
like
a gas leak at Grandville.
It was a few years ago. Okay, all right, yeah.
Moved to the high school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that worked. From what I understand, that worked out.
But that was a very to me that was a simple.
Dry run.
I mean, as a parent, we had to go there and pick their kid up. It was a long, process, but it worked well, and I knew where my child was at.
What I'm trying to get at, it was a day, not a month, not 6 months. Because to me, reunification to me is we have a building that catches fire or a tornado that takes out a building, and we've seen around our communities. Is there any, do you go to that?
So we go to those type of contingencies. We go to those whether it's Mother Nature, whether it's a violent encounter, then we have all those things in place. Most of the things I think that you'll ever see will be the gas leak, the power outage, the things like that where, it's going to be one of those that it's very localized, and we're going to have to get them someplace just to make them more safe than what they are.
Because you look at Pine Elementary in Comstock Park. right? That building was down for how long?
Long time, about a month,
Yeah,
I think, maybe longer.
yeah,
Because
because
they
they had
had to
a,
move them to a different place.
yes, they did. So that's what I thought. Thank you.
I just want to say something about Mark. We worked together for 25-plus years, and he is a true professional, dedicated to details, and I just appreciate him being here. This whole reunification process I've been involved in with Mark and with Mr. Gilmy, with Mike, and they are incredibly detailed and excited to get this thing on board. So our students are in good hands. So, thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark, I just wanted to say thank you. You've handled some things this year that have been maybe not things you're expecting to handle, and you did a great job. The administration, the staff, everything. I do wonder, you had mentioned safety for traffic flow. Have we considered talking about the traffic flow off Canal into being able to get into the office off of Canal instead of having to go all the way around to that opening on, is that 52nd?
Oh, for the middle school?
Yeah, just based on
I was
any
thinking
incident
about
that
the same
happened
thing
last
too.
week,
It's,
but-
and also it's jammed between.
But not even just that,
240
but I mean, just for safety
and
and getting
It's
from
bad.
Canal into that area of the parking lot. Have we talked about that at all as far as there, it's just completely cut off and you have to go all the way around?
A lot of it, a
Right,
lot of it
but-
is education, and it's a lot of us that, it's for us to keep saying, this is what you need to do, parents, to pick up and drop off your children.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
and I get that. So if there are things like that, we will try and get out there and talk to individual parents when they do make those mistakes or whatever, and say, hey, listen, no, we need you over here. The biggest thing is that you never, ever want to do is move pedestrians in with vehicles. And so to have them also go there and try and get from Canal to where they need to go to do the loop to come back around. Now you've got an intersecting loop with people trying to get around there.
For me, this
And
is
it's-
not about the parent flow as much as being able to get a police car into that office area off Canal.
Oh, we got there.
I know you did, but
So,
that's going to be the typical route then,
Yes.
if that kind of stuff happens. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
yeah, and if we got to replace some turf, we'll do that too.
Okay,
Grass is-
all right.
But we can
Grass
fit,
is always greener after.
we can just fit between Fred's pylons. So,
Okay, all right. As long as Fred's got the pylons up on it,
so
you go,
we're,
Fred.
yeah, we're good. And in fact, because over the summer, Grandville Fire got some new fire trucks, larger fire trucks, and we made sure that they could get through and get around the back where they
And do
had,
that, okay.
you
All
know,
right.
with all the gates and everything else like that, and they got through without a problem. So
Perfect.
we're watching that.
Thank
So,
you, thanks.
If you can fix parent pickup and drop off, listen, you'd be well worth your money just being able to do that, all right?
Oh, I know.
Is that, I mean, they can't get it right anywhere.
My 4 kids would be well taken care of.
Exactly.
I'd like to echo what Joe said. I mean, we went into this, I mean, it's, you know, a brand-new position that we had and had a lot of dreams, and Mark has fulfilled all those and then some, and the partnerships, the networks he has with people, even some guy that works in Wyoming. I mean, it's amazing that the expertise that these guys have and the ability to collaborate, and it helps us all, and that's very powerful. So really appreciate Mark, everything he's done, and I look forward to the future, because it's
Absolutely.
been quite impressive.
Thank you.
Good job.
Very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks, Bill.
Appreciate it. All right. No other items in the agenda? Moving on to public comment. First up, Sarah McCord.
Hi. Hi. Thank you for giving me the time. I would like to speak with you guys regarding what happened on March 13, 2024. And it happened to one of my kids. First of all, my name is Sarah McCour. Sarah McCour. People call me Sarah every now and then. I'm like, no. This is my husband, Akolabul, and we have 5 kids in Grandville. public school. And that happened to my son on March 13. He's a middle schooler. A bully targeted him and deliberately attacked him. Not just one occasion, but 2 occasions on the same day. Attack him to the extent that they broke his tooth in half. All that happened on March 13, 2024. Excuse me, I'm a parent first, so please excuse me. I thank God it was captured on video, both. The bully, his name is Cody. I don't know any much about him. He attempted the first time and he did not succeed, but the second time he succeeded, where he broke his tooth in half. The upsetting part is that my son, the upsetting part is that the boy remained in school. All of our staff, from our principal to everyone else, did not show support to my son. Contact the teacher to let her know that he was attacked, he was assaulted, because they have the same class together, second hour. He was assaulted until his tooth was broken in half. If the teacher could change the seat. And I thank her, she came through and she changed seat. Boy continued to taunt my son. He stopped taunting him after the Grandville police visited him in his house to interview him, because I went ahead and I pressed charges. That's when the boy stopped taunting my son. But at this point as of now, it's hard for my child to go to school. Every single morning, he got some kind of excuse. But we force him to go to school. He's in band. He played trumpet. It's a bit becoming a challenge. There will be food that he will have to avoid for the rest of his life because of that, because he's afraid that if he eat that food, his tooth will break again in half. He's the one who have to go back to the dentist.
1 minute.
All I'm asking from all of you is to take the time and watch the video. Both videos are less than 30 seconds. All I'm asking from all of you in this room is to make sure this does not happen again to anyone's child. All I need is for the staff at Grandville Middle School from the principal to the secretaries to the nurses to whoever is in that part of that staff is to watch the video, because that happened in their care.
It's time. Thank you for sharing.
You signed in to speak or anything? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, there's no other public comment at this time. We will be moving into closed session for discussing the superintendent's annual performance evaluation.
So moved.
All right.
Support.
We need a vote.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Can we get 5 minutes?
Are you sure?